Hey guys, Triple B here. We've got some more cards revealed from the upcoming set, Snow Hazard and Clayburst. Some pretty interesting ones in here, and a special card that I was really holding out for, and looks like they have kind of delivered, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So first up, we've got a Hoppip. So it is pretty standard Hoppip, low HP, 50 health, has the attack Splashing Dodge, does 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects done to this Pokemon. Kind of cool. We've seen similar attacks on a lot of basic Pokemons, and on a coin flip, it's fine. Evolves up into a Skiploom that effectively has the effect of that attack, but on an ability. So float away, if any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. Kind of interesting. And then its attack, Flower Breeze, does 30 damage and 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So definitely an interesting concept, being able to do just kind of chip damage into the active and the bench, but theoretically not taking any damage yourself. Definitely a cool concept to play around with, and it's going to evolve up into a Jump Bluff with the same ability, Float Away. So if any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin. If heads, it doesn't get damaged. Its attack, Fuzzy Wind, is going to do 60 damage and then 30 to one of your opponent's bench, so similar to the Skiploom, but a little bit more damage to the active. The nice thing about this too is Skiploom from Evolving Skies will still be in rotation, and with that guy, when you attach an energy to him, search your deck, get a card that evolves from it, and immediately evolve into it. So theoretically, you could be going Hoppip, evolve up to Skiploom on turn 2, attach an energy, immediately go into Jump Bluff, and just start swinging 60 and chipping away at the bench. It's a kind of cool concept, and the fact that it's theoretically invincible and can be brought back from the discard with Rescue Carrier, I could definitely see this being a bit of a fringe deck that some budget players might pick up. It'll be interesting to see what people come up with for deck lists. We did get the Pineco and Fortress EX officially revealed as well, so a bit better look at the artwork for it. Covered it in a video on Wednesday, I believe, so if you haven't seen that, there should be a link to it popping up right now. Big news here, though. Wo-Chien Ex has been revealed. So it's got the attack Devouring Ivy. It's going to do 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each prize that they've taken. So theoretically, they've taken 5 prizes for the game. You can be doing 300 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It's a kind of cool way to finish out the game. Maybe you've hit a Vmax earlier in the game and they've tried to retreat it to the bench and you just want to finish it off. It's a great way to take that knockout. Or even just using something like Hawlucha, put some damage on one of their bench Vmax and then follow up with this to just do massive damage and finish it. If they've taken 4 prizes, you are doing, 240, so can be taking out V-Stars with a bit of extra work as well. Definitely a cool card to be playing around with. Its second attack for 3 grass and a colorless, Forest Burn, 200 damage just as a straight number. It's definitely an interesting card and a big basic Pokemon, which is pretty cool. We are getting a very interesting Spiritomb card as well. So it's got the ability Pitch Black Doom. As long as this Pokemon's in play, basic Pokemon V have no ability, yours and your opponent's. With rotation coming up, it's going to be affecting less cards, because obviously we're losing some Vs. Crobat's not going to be around anymore, so you won't be negating that, but it will be stopping things like Luminion V, Eldegoss V, and with Mew still seeing quite a bit of play, being able to shut off their Genesect is pretty powerful. Other than that, I'm not really too sure what you'll be blocking. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below, but definitely an interesting card to pick as a 1 or 2 of, just to be a staple in some decks. We are getting more cards with the attack Wings of Union as well, so I know that we got, I believe it's Quattro? Probably getting that name wrong. I'll have it popping up on the screen right now, that had the attack Wings of Union, and it's effectively like Mad Party or Night March that we previously had, where you're going to do 20 damage times the number of Pokemon in your discard pile that have this attack. So the Quattro being lightning type, hitting into things like Lugia for weakness is pretty solid. Now we're getting a Murkrow that's dark, hitting into things like Gardevoir and Shadow Rider Calyrex for weakness. Both are going to be very relevant cards in the upcoming meta, I feel like, so it's a good weakness to be able to hit. And we're also getting a Flamigo that's going to have the attack Wings of Union. So that's 3 different Pokemon we're seeing that have this attack already, meaning top damage output, we could put 12 guys in the discard that have this. That's, 240? Use Ditto, 240 for 1 energy. Pretty solid. Or use one of these guys that hits weakness and attach super effective glasses to them and triple that damage output into weakness. You can definitely be getting some cheeky knockouts, and it'll be interesting to see if we get more cards with the Wings of Union attack. The Flamigo as well has the ability Flock Together. Once during your turn, when you place this from your hand onto your bench, search your deck for 3 Flamigo, put them into your hand. It's a great way to get all of them out of your deck immediately and then discard them with things like Ultra Ball to be setting up extra damage from Wings of Union. So it's a great setup card, and it's good to see that they're giving support to this archetype they're building. For some trainer cards, we did get Giacomo. Hope I'm saying his name right, but it's a supporter card that lets you discard a special energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. Very interesting card, essentially like an anti-Elisa into the Mew matchup. So if they use Elisa, accelerate out Fusion Strike energy, you can use Giacomo, get rid of those off their guys that they've spread it around. Same with Lugia. If they're trying to set up backup attackers with special energy, it's a great way to just kind of knock some of those off and make their life a little bit more difficult. Going into the next meta, though, it's looking like Lugia is going to head towards single strike energy, and that can be recovered with Urn of Vitality, but it's still a great way just to apply some pressure onto them. For stadiums, we did get 2 new ones revealed as well, one being Snow Mountain of Disaster and one being Wilderness of Disaster. So to kind of go in tow with the legendary Pokemon we're getting. Snow Mountain of Disaster, whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their basic non-water Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So sort of like Old Cemetery, but for water types and only onto basics. Pretty interesting concept. It will go very nicely with that new Ice type EX Pokemon we're going to get, since it's a basic water. Apply some pressure onto your opponent's basic guys that are trying to attach energy. It'll be interesting to see if this sees some play. And then Wilderness of Disaster, the retreat cost of each basic Pokemon, excluding fighting types, is going to be 1 colorless energy more. Interesting card. We have been seeing the attacks popping up lately where attack damage is getting increased with the amount of retreat cost on your opponent's Pokemon, so it's great that we are getting a stadium to kind of scale that up and just help out those types of decks. That's it for the new cards revealed on this page today, but we did actually get to see Bellibolt EX finally. So Bellibolt EX is going to be coming out in Clay Burst. It's a stage 1 Pokemon evolving from Tadbull, and it's got the attack Jump Press. It does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not too bad. You can be sniping things on the bench, and being double colorless, easy to charge up with Flaffy since it's a lightning type. You could be running it in a Flaffy box or even a double turbo energy if you wanted to. Its second attack is kind of the star here though, Paralyzed Ball. So it's going to do 160 damage. You may discard 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon, and if you do, your opponent's active is now paralyzed. So a great way to be half hitting into things and just kind of locking them out. If you choose to discard the lightning energy as well, easily recharge it with a Flaffy. It's a pretty solid option. And the fact that you can hit weakness into Lugia, it's definitely very helpful. Even if they're running something like Dunsparce to remove the weakness, they don't run a lot of switching cards, so you're going to be paralyzing them. They're just kind of stuck there. It's pretty funny, and definitely a card I can see people playing around with. A few more reveals today, though. Not just cards, we're getting some other products, which is very handy. So Paldean Legends tin is going to be coming out June 9th. It's going to retail for $27. I'm guessing that's based in North America. If you're based in Australia like myself, probably going to be a bit more premium than that, but they're putting one out with Miraidon and Koraidon. So buying these as singles, they're likely going to be pretty expensive at release. Miraidon for sure. It's definitely seeming like a very interesting archetype a lot of people are wanting to jump onto. So releasing it as a promo like this is going to be a great way to reduce the cost of that and make it a lot more accessible to players. The other thing we're getting is we've seen the new trainer toolkit we'll be getting this year, which is going to come with Arceus V and Vstar. Kind of funny thing though, not too sure if it's an error or they've decided to errata. I'm pretty sure it's an error. We're seeing a lot of bugs on PTCL. It's looking like they're coming out into the cards now. Trinity Nova doing 120 damage. I think somebody stuffed that up. But other than that, it's an Arceus Vstar. 3 colorless energy, 200 damage, accelerate 3 energy from your deck to your V Pokemon. Starbirth lets you get any 2 cards from your deck. Great card, and if you've been holding off getting it, it's going to be a solid card the entire time it's in rotation. And being a little bit more accessible, coming in a trainer's toolkit, it's a great card to pick up if you get the opportunity. We did also get to see the sleeves as well as what the box is going to look like, so those are just popping up on the screen for you right now. The other cards in the trainer toolkit haven't been revealed yet. Typically you get solid supporter cards like Professor's Research and Boss's Orders, and could definitely see those being inclusions in this. Iono might be included since it's an upcoming card, but it all kind of just depends on when this is released and how relevant they want it to be. Obviously coming with Arceus, where it's an F block card, we might not be seeing G block cards in here just yet, but we'll be getting some solid stuff, probably things like double turbo energy as well, and some stadiums to go along with it. The final reveal for today, we've seen the logo for Paldea Evolved, which is pretty cool. It looks like a very old school almost, like I'm getting like Flintstones vibes from it, as well as the booster pack art, which has confirmed that it's Triple Beat and Snow Hazard and Clayburst coming in, because we are getting the Paldean starters and the 2 relevant legendaries on here, which is really interesting. Did also get a peek at what the ETBs and sleeves are going to be like for these, as well as the blister promos. So we're getting a blister promo with Growlithe, Smoliv, Varoom, and Tinky Tank. I think that's its name, the little dude with the rattle that evolves into the slightly bigger little dude with a big hammer. Pretty cool. And then for the ETBs, we're going to be seeing the Paldean starters on them. Kind of interested in getting this though, actually, because the dice we're getting is going to be triple colored. So we're getting green, red, and blue, obviously to represent 3 starter types. Very interesting concept for that. And I do like the status condition markers for these as well. So I think we get those in Scarlet and Violet. Might have to pick up an ETB. Be a very interesting set, and I'm looking forward to it releasing in June. We've seen a lot of the cards so far, and I'm going to keep doing reveal videos like this as long as you guys enjoy them. If you do, obviously hitting that thumbs up button is a great way to let me know, and subscribing will let you know when more content like this is coming out. Till next time though, take care of yourself.